Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Course Maintenance Podcast presented by Eli Swanson, Aaron Gossage, and me. And
he goes, how do we start this off? Then straight into ASMR.
You put a mic in my face.
Whatever it was, bro, that wasn't it.
I got one positive comment on my ASMR on the last video. So
yeah, riding high off the comments.
But we're here. We're in Lynchburg. Well, not that near Lynchburg. We're about 40 minutes outside of Lynchburg in the boonies. But it's kind of nice area out here. They got nice forests, and we're getting ready for Champs Cup. So we've got some fun topics. We got kind of tournament recap stuff, and then we'll get into this week as well.
Yep. I will say it's kind of hard to get around here quickly.
It is.
I feel like everything is 20 minutes apart. And I mean everything by the sense of like the grocery store is 20 minutes for the course.
Yep.
And the gas station is then another 20 minutes. I felt like I spent an hour driving between
us
filming doubles and this.
Yep.
Even if you're in town, it seems that way too. Like it's like so stretched out.
Yep.
It's very strange. I've been here for like a little bit extra time because my family lives out here. And I'm having the same thing. It's like I feel like I'm just driving all the time.
It's even worse when we play both courses too, because they're like 20 minutes from each other.
Right.
So then you have one other stop you have to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not quite Portland level, but it's getting there.
Right.
Yeah.
As far as the driving goes, with Milo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Milo's like what 45 minutes from downtown.
Right. Portland. And you can't get a house like right in the middle ever. It's like past the other one, and then it's
there's kind of just nothing in between those in between those two. It's kind of weird. But anyone have a story time type of thing?
Story time, sure. I got a story time.
Goose man always does. I love that.
So last weekend, I went on a bachelor trip weekend for my boy Jake. He's getting married this summer. So
nice.
Bunch of collegiate boys, and his friends we all went out to Austin, Texas. So got a little early action there. Played Roy G.
Nice.
Great course, a lot of fun. So that one was a lot of fun to play. And then we played Sprinkle Valley as well. And about 5 holes in.
First of all, I got to interrupt you. That's crazy that you called it Sprinkle Valley for the first time in your life.
I think it's been off camera a lot.
Right, that's probably
he
what
just
it is.
Always calls it Sparkle Valley for some
now
reason.
he's trying to shape up now that he's got the camera in his face.
It's just a 50-50, man. I'm just guessing. It's not on purpose. I just think of the one that makes the most sense.
I love it. I can't wait to be back in a couple weeks.
And we got 5 holes in, absolute downpour, okay? To the point of none of us had umbrellas. We had raincoats, so it was okay, but it was just for the first hole, I was anxious, I'm like, oh, my grip's gonna go, and then I'm not gonna be able to throw, and then all this, and then I was like, after it all went, then I'm like, oh, now we're gonna have fun again, because who cares? I don't need to shoot good. I'm just chilling with the boys, We're all struggling through this mess. So it was actually a really fun time, but the bag is still wet.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That's I did see you at the course before the round today, looking at the bag, oh, it's soaked.
Kind of crazy, but it's fun when you got a bachelor party and you get to play, some casual fun disc golf in the middle of that.
It's rare for us, I feel like, all right, I got fan questions. We got a lot of fan questions, but we're putting a lot in the bank, but we're going to do 2 today, and maybe we'll roll through more if they keep trickling in. But yeah, first one was what part of the country / what kind of terrain would you want to design a course in?
This one's pretty easy. I'll start us off. The one place that I would really like there to be a pro tour event at is some elevation golf. So I like a good classic mountain style. It would even be fun to do ski lift style, where you take the lift up to the top and then you play all the way down the mountain.
That'd be crazy.
Those are a lot of fun. So something along those lines. So it'd be very mountain, forest, and then a ton of elevation. So it turns into, I don't know, maybe a little bit fluky, but it's a different kind of disc golf, and I think it's a lot of fun. It'd be cool to have a pro tour event out there.
Do you think you could design it to where it's not fluky though?
It's a
what
good
are you
question.
saying is fluky?
So there's a few things that kind of can turn into fluke with it. The rollaways, you have a lot of elevation, so it's hard not to deal with that. Yep. But I think you could design it in a way that is a little less. Also, throwing 900-foot par 3s downhill. Yeah. Can be fluky, you know what I mean? Because it's you have to get your angle so perfectly correct. But I think if done well, you could make a really top tier course with that kind of style. Yeah. And I wonder if you could eliminate the fluke. They're almost always designed for your mid-level tournaments, your BC tiers kind of. So it's tricky to have that balance of then adding in a gold layout.
It'd be cool. What's the closest we've come to that? We had the match play up in Colorado, near Denver.
Right, that is probably the closest.
That was okay. And then we also had the World Championships
Worlds
back in, was it 21?
in Ogden.
In Ogden.
That was
actually,
at least,
the fort, I like the fort.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that was at least like golf at elevation.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like it wasn't really, like there wasn't a lot of elevation change on those two courses.
For sure.
So the disc flew different, but
Yeah.
the shots weren't different. The other one would be, what is it, Blue Mountain in Montana. There was a silver event there.
I didn't play that one.
Same.
Yep, I did not either, but
Right.
I just remember it.
That was cool.
Fort Charles Bend.
A couple of the other big tournaments that come to mind are like Solitude has a big one. I've seen some coverage of, or Penderies. Solitude's Utah. Penderies is the New Mexico one. Are very similar to that. And then Colorado's had a few. The Winter Park. What the heck is that called? I don't know. The Winter Park.
Is that the one by the brewery, or is that that's
Park
the major
City?
A
It's
tier?
Colorado.
No,
they're
that's
all
303.
they're all by
Okay,
breweries.
all right, fair enough.
Just
fair
kidding.
enough.
Winter Park's got a really good course, as well as the Snow Mountain Ranch. So they do a tournament there. I could have sworn there was a different name for it. Winter Park Challenge or something. I don't know.
Somebody will know.
But it's another one. And then Aspen does the Kiss the Sky. That's another really famous one.
Like A2 level you're talking about?
These are all like just like infamous. I don't know, mountain disc golf. A couple of those are A tiers, I think, and then a couple of them are just like I think Kiss the Sky is unsanctioned.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know, it's an infamous one. It's got the Kiss It Goodbye hole where you're just like thrown off the mountain, and if you miss the
Kiss It
angle,
Goodbye, it's a good name.
It's gone.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ezra,
that'd be
you
sick.
wanna-
Yeah, my pick would be Hawaii. I think it'd be so sick to fly everybody over, play in like the tropical like climate. It's the closest thing we can get to like a rainforest. You could like carve some insane, shots in like the woods that we don't get to see in America or in the lower 48. Hawaii is America. But you could have waterfalls, and you could have like the elevation change up and down. I really like that. Like you could play on a volcano potentially. I think that'd be like the most unique place we could do.
Let's be honest here. You just want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, I want to go to Hawaii. What's wrong with that?
We're just manifesting for the off season, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this
yeah.
is gonna be the
For
boys'
sure.
trip. We're gonna go design a course. In the off season. I have thought about that. We gotta hit up the Paul Macbeth Foundation.
Yeah,
cool.
And
make
see if
something
we can get
happen.
something going.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, Hawaii does already have some disc golf. I played a couple courses out there, and it is cool. But I think like building like a top tier pro tour level event would be insane.
Yeah, Parker Welk is a big Hawaii guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, maybe do it on Maui. I don't know.
I'm sure he knows all the spots.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I know a number of people. I mean, Eagle went this off season. Spent like 2 or 3 months there, I think.
wow.
And
Jeez.
then I know
Paige has been out there a while, like a lot.
Paige has been out there a
Yeah.
few times. Didn't AB just go?
Abe was out there for like a week.
Yep.
Yeah, with his buddy.
I know Juliana Korver.
Okay.
I think she might be out there now. Actually, I saw something like that. But a lot of people have ventured that way. But it's having like an elite course out there would be really cool.
Yeah.
I think for me, my parents have some land in Wisconsin that I'm always saying I'm designing a course on, and then I'm always on tour, and so it feels like I miss out on some of that. But it's a really cool property. A lot of red granite. Rock and nice elevation change, big open, maybe not open, but there's big potential for open shots if you cut down a bunch of trees and things like that. So, overall,
Any lakes? Isn't that the big Wisconsin thing?
That's Minnesota.
That's
more
Minnesota?
So.
Okay.
Although
You can build
I
them.
will say this is quite the side note, but yes, number one, you can build lakes, but the Wisconsin always claims, or all the people from Wisconsin, they're gonna hate me now, but they always claim they have more lakes than Minnesota, because Minnesota is like the land of 10,000 lakes, and Wisconsin is like, we have 15,000. And the reality of it is that Wisconsin defines a lake as whatever it wants, and Minnesota has like a standard for like you have to be this minimum size to be a lake, and so
every time it rains and those puddles on the road, they're like, "Hey, we have twice as many lakes now."
yep.
I kind of like that though. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, just trying to get the edge on the state rivalry. But,
Heck yeah.
No, it's kind of funny. But overall, I think like terrain wise, I think the best is something close to what you guys are playing this weekend, which is just that rolling hills elevation. I think the mountain golf is super fun and unique for one event. But if you had to pick like one terrain to design any course on, you're probably picking that rolling hills, because you can kind of get that mixture of like you can still get a nice downhill shot like hole 10 this week will feature.
I wouldn't mind like a Lake Eureka style place to design a course too. I think that it's so important to have water hazards. So having like a lake that you could build a course around would also be good as well. So when you're looking at like what's the most important thing, like there are a few different elements that really make courses good, and it could be, obviously it's a combination of a bunch of stuff. But I think the really good water hazards is something that's hard to manufacture.
Yeah, it is. I like what you're saying, Eli. I like the rolling hills. Like some of my favorite courses is like Portland and Deglow, well, Glendivier and Deglow.
Yeah, Jonesboro.
Like you have like the up and down, which is really cool, and then like at least as far as the Pacific Northwest goes, you have some of the coolest trees.
Yeah,
which is just clean trunks all the way up, which is ideal. And then you get some water out there too. You got a pond.
Yeah. I'm excited. I get the opportunity to fly out and play Beaver State Fling before Austin because I'm like doing a weird travel thing, going home and stuff. But Milo is one of my favorite parks to just be in. Those trees are massive.
It's beautiful place, and the rivers are really cool.
Overall, all right. We got a second fan question. How do you guys view old versus new locations on tour? Disregarding the course itself. A new stop obviously means novelty, a new city to at least potentially explore. An old location means familiarity, so some kind of comfort. What is your preference there?
Right, it's a good question. I would say that going to a place that we've been before that's like a favorite of ours obviously helps. Is probably the ideal situation for me. It makes the week so much easier because we already know kind of what the shots we're going to be throwing. It lets you really dial in what you're trying to do on the course, as well as like around town. Like places you've been to eat. A lot of different things to do, and it gives you opportunity to like try new things that you haven't done before while you still have the comfort of the stuff you do. So I think it's really nice when we have some of those like fan favorite stops. But then again, it's like the originality is also super nice, seeing something new, seeing what's going on. And then I would say overall, as far as the courses go, the places that we go to a lot tend to be like the old school style of disc golf. So it's definitely, you can tell that the courses are either like becoming fewer and far between, or they're adapting to the new style play, which is players are just getting better. And they need to make them tighter, they need to make them longer, they need to make them, all these ways that are a little bit more challenging for the quality of players these days, versus the new courses a lot of times are like super challenging, and we're always like, oh, wow, like blows you away how difficult some of the shots are. Right. And then you have to like overcome that.
I kind of prefer that. I think I'm going to disagree with you on a lot of it, actually. I like the new spot. Like if Louisiana's a good example.
Yeah.
It was so much more exciting for me to go to Louisiana and play a new course and like try to figure it out and like have that like like learning like mentality again, which you don't really get when you go to the same place over and over again. You have everything's new, the whole city's new. You could explore stuff. I really enjoy that. I also think it's really good to go to new places to try to get a new like fan base, to build that as far as the sport goes. Yeah. So I think sometimes we can maybe, and I mean, we might get into this a little ahead of the questions, but we might exhaust some of these places if we go back to them too often. The people that play disc golf in the area might, maybe not get sick of disc golf, but they might like get their fill of it. Mm-hmm. So I think like bouncing to new places and trying out new venues is really important for that. I do think going back to the old places is good too, because you can kind of like build prestige on that and like history. But then again, we might be too young of a sport for that to even make a difference. Because I think like going to USDGC is sick, but it's like, does it actually have to be USDGC at that place? Because we have the sport's so young. So
yeah, I would also say that like it's good to try what can stay on tour versus what can't. Right. I think good examples of this are Waco is not on tour for the first time this year, so they're trying to see if that's one that's kind of been in that we've gone there too much kind of place.
I do think that was an accident though.
Oh, really?
And maybe this is wrong, and if people are in, whoever does Waco and stuff, and chime in if they see this video. I think they just like missed the bid, and it's like there was like they accidentally missed the date to sign up, and then there's like, oh well, we can't do it. That's what I've heard.
This is what I heard too.
Okay, so
I think I told you that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably we got that closed loop again.
The full hearsay going.
It's funny. We had one of those today too. I think on the course, I was like,
turns out I told Eli, and I don't know anything.
I just forgot.
But then another good example of that is Jonesboro. So Jonesboro went off tour last year and now is back on this year. So I think it could be interesting where you can see what courses can come on and off. And sometimes even just cycling them, like 1 year on, 1 year off, might grow that fan base, like you're saying. I think Emporia is another one that kind of got... I mean, we played DDO and Worlds there in the same year, and I think everybody was just a little tired.
That last event we played, though, was like nobody showed up.
Right.
You know?
They started doing a thing. I don't remember what. I guess it would have been like 2018, maybe, where they would have us play the Worlds course as a Elite Series event prior to the World Championship. And they did that for a few years, and then I think they've gotten away from it to the point that we're now like previewing it a year out. For the most part, they've gotten away from that, but it's getting better to the point that we're not doubling up so much. And I think that's good. But overall, I was going to say, I think the new cities are better, but I think this rotation style, I'm kind of going to mix your two answers here, but it's like the rotation style is really good. Another course that's coming back to the tour this year is the Swedish Open course. And I know a lot of pros weren't there when it was an Elite Series last time in 2024. I happen to be, but that one is coming back and returning. So there's different ones hopping on and off the tour, and I think like PCS also off the tour this year. Krokol also off the tour this year. I don't think either of those events are. I think they're both going to come back at some stage at some point.
Tampere,
yeah. Oh, I hope so, dude.
That's the thing too. Is like I think some of these events can be every single season. I think Portland can be every single season. I think they have it's a big enough city. It's a big enough disc golf community. I think Charlotte can host every single season. Right. I think Tampere could. I think Krokol could. PCS I think totally makes sense. Jonesboro makes sense to have every other year. Like I think you can kind of pick and choose.
And then obviously you've got like the fan favorites that are kind of stapled in. You've got MVP, you've got GMC, you've got USDGC, and those are ones that fans just really like having at those same places. But again, like one of the things Paul mentioned when we were playing GMC this last time is maybe taking GMC off tour for 1 year and not letting people play the course, then planting all the fairways with grass, you might be able to get rid of the root problem. So with no one walking on those fairways, with no traffic going on, you might really be able to improve the actual course, come back a year later, and it's far better than it was before. So
we're actually talking about real course maintenance right now.
You're right,
living up to the name. But yeah, you're 100% right.
That'd be sick.
It is... Things like that need to start to be considered for these elite courses. What is the, I think a lot of these venues, it is built around this one event now, especially these newer courses. They're trying to take advantage of that specific, like, we are a pro tour stop, and that is our singular, maybe not singular focus, but a lot of our focus goes into that, and it's it's cool, it's impressive, and I respect everybody who's like trying to put forth that effort, because it takes a lot. I mean, running one event a year, it sounds minimal, but when it's as big an event as we bring to town, it's a big deal. So
yeah, I wonder if we need to transition more into the Estonia style, where it's just putting up a temporary course in a big city. One of the big examples of this is like Big Easy. John Houck put so much effort and time and money into that course to like put it on tour, and it's one of those is that where we need to be spending our efforts, is putting in these amazing courses that fit on tour somewhere, or would it be better to make these tour events temporary? You don't have to put in the same amount of money. You just have to like find a place that you could use for the weekend. Rent out the venue, and then it's in a big city center. I don't know if that would work.
This goes back to Central Park. This goes back back to Central Park.
We're back to last week on the podcast. I only saw one comment acknowledging it.
Okay.
They didn't really. Let's
talk about it again.
No. It's good. Let's keep hammering this one, because I think it's a solid point. Anything else on that? I was just going to jump into the Charlotte recap. I feel like this kind of segues kind of well. So speaking of events and returning and stuff like that, I think that's what a lot of this podcast is actually going to be about. But Charlotte recap, how did the crowds feel compared to USDGC? And is it worth having two tour stops so close together? I don't know where you guys were on the leaderboard. I kind of forget. But it's like, I don't know how much of the crowds, you saw it at your stage. It's different at every section of the day. So
let's just put it this way. We played together and we didn't see many people. No, the crowds did look pretty good from what I saw in the coverage, and coming into 18, there were quite a few people. Definitely signed some autographs, stuff like that. And then the roads, there were a lot of people like down the roads that would come and watch this hole, that hole. I had a bunch of groups that follow my card for the whole round. But again, I was probably on like 8th card or something like that, so it wasn't like I was one of the top guys by any means.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I barely cashed, so we didn't have a whole lot of people. But I did cross. I played hole 15 when they were on hole 3.
Okay.
And they had a pretty good gallery. It seemed solid.
Yeah.
Okay, but significantly less than USDGC, I would assume.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to not be a major competing, I feel like.
Right.
And the spectator, like the viewability is just so much worse on that course too, compared to USDGC.
I would agree with that.
I'm not even implying that that's like necessarily something that takes it off tour. I was just trying to compare it to the other stop that's really close to it. And, there've been questions about whether people get sick of.
Right. Well, and we had the match play just recently. I mean, that was like the last event, which was also in Charlotte, which was at the same course too. So
yeah. I would say I felt like the course held up to standard. I thought it was pretty challenging. I thought that there were no double-digit scores, so challenged a lot of different players. I shot maybe 10 down, and I was in about 20th place. So I mean that's pretty good as far as the like spread that we're looking for most courses. So I think even it being an older school like style course, it did hold up pretty well.
It did.
And it has a few varieties. I think that there are some really important holes on that course that are very solid, and then there's some other holes that could use a little bit of work to change what's going on. But I think 16 is a really amazing hole. Having the island hole with the gap through the woods is a really cool thing.
Yep.
We
did talk a little bit though about them potentially changing the like out of bounds rules on that one, just because of people kicking off the trees and like ending up back OB or like hitting the wall or whatever the case is. So what was your opinion about that?
So this was my thoughts. We're throwing through a gap that's kind of a tough gap to make, and then we're trying to hit a gap that's like 8 feet wide up on the green, and not everyone's doing that. And about 50% of the people that miss that gap are parked, and then maybe 25 kick the tree and slide back, and about 25 go out of bounds. So it's a pretty big spread of like what kind of luck do you get off of that. So what I would have liked to see is you just leave all the rules the same way. I like the progressive drop zone. The only thing I would change is that I would only put a wall on the front up to pin high on the right side of the basket, okay? And then I'd make the actual wall the OB line. So anybody that hits a tree and slides back hits the wall and stays in bounds. Right. And then anybody that doesn't have enough touch and throws it past the basket, skips in the lake long, is out of bounds. And anyone that goes OB right but long is out of bounds.
Right. So there's no incentive to blasting it at the trees and like hitting them, hopefully dropping. It's like you could just go sailing through them and then you're OB.
Exactly. Again, I saw a lot of people go OB left as well. They just kind of missed all the trees, skipped OB left. So that's what happens when you play it too safe. And the last thing that would do is it would mean that if you're coming in soft with some touch onto the green, you don't have a chance of going out of bounds. Versus if you're coming in high and you catch one of those trees highs, you could still kick back over the wall.
For sure.
I think it's just a really good way of rewarding good shots. They're not great shots, obviously, they didn't hit the gap, but they're good enough to have the touch they needed and they got to the spot they wanted. So those deserve to kick because they got a little unlucky and hit the tree to just outside the circle.
Right. Yeah, it is interesting how sometimes having the wall as the OB line is actually beneficial. It's like actually the way it should be.
Right.
What about having, I don't know, I probably don't like this as much, but what about having it to where if your shot goes OB but it crossed at some point, so it hits a tree, kicks back OB, you can advance to where it last was in bounds? So that way the only way you go to the drop zone is if you miss the initial gap, basically, and then go in the pond or end up short.
I would suggest second drop zone as opposed to...
that's an interesting compromise.
I think so because a lot of times you're going to end up with a circle's edge putt or a pretty easy save.
Right.
And so I feel like that doesn't. Well, I don't know. It is kind of random if you kick one of those trees. Maybe you cut down one or two, widen that gap, and then it's like more fair to make to like park the island. I don't know.
Yeah,
so here's my thought on that. I like that you're trying to reward shots, based on how well they were thrown. My only issue with that, as me obviously being someone that has gotten screwed over by not getting calls in their favor for this exact thing that we're talking about, it's a really tricky situation of did I cross inbounds or not?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I would much prefer it was cut and dry of like, is your disc inbounds? Is it not inbounds?
Yeah.
We don't have to make a decision of whether you crossed or not.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you get to just go to one or the other.
It's a lot more efficient.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It just takes out all that like guesswork,
Yep.
and then you don't get people that are upset for one side or the other.
I like the wall being OB. I like it more. I just want to throw the idea out there.
No, I appreciate it. I just figure that's
good to discuss things like that.
Good thing to talk about.
Last question with Charlotte. I mean, we can talk about anything else as well, but what was one moment of resilience you noticed in your rounds that you are proud of and would like to continue to tap into this major?
Oh, man. I don't know about resilience, but I did lay up on 18 instead of going for it, and I cashed, potentially because of it. I had like that tough like right side I could like go over, and instead of just playing aggressive, I was like, nah, you know what? I'm going to play the percentage shot for me, and then like chances are better that people behind me don't push to where I get knocked out. So not really resilience, but it was just a little bit of gameplay.
Yeah, I like that too because it is resilient. It feels bad.
Right.
But
it's like, man, I don't want to mess this up now. You know, it's like two super easy little chip forehands. I'm like, but I got to execute those. Get my paw, and then just...
I don't even think they're that easy. Like the first one's probably easy.
Yeah.
The second one's not
No,
easy.
it's true.
And if you throw it like mediocre, you're left with a tough putt too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I would say you have to execute all the shots.
You do.
And it's a really good drill or lesson or whatever you want to call it for those situations where you're like, oh, I need to get up and down like this for a top 10.
Yeah.
Or I'm winning by 3. Let's just take my par here and I win the tournament.
Yep.
So like it correlates to other places where it actually is very, very important. So I think that is a really cool thing there. Yeah. The big one for me, I would say for last week was I was proud of myself. I birdied hole 13. I finally got that hole. And then I said to myself, hey, if you birdie out right now, you can get top 10. And from that point on, I gave myself a chance on every single hole.
Nice.
So it wasn't like I quit. You know, the next hole I was in the circle, but I missed the putt. Yeah. But you know, the next hole I came back and I just kept pushing and like, hey, just give yourself one more chance. And on every single hole, I threw the shots I needed to throw. Just left myself some long putts and I missed a couple of them. Right. So happy with myself for just like being like, hey, don't give up on this round. You can still make this happen. And it didn't work out, obviously, but I did have that mindset and I tried my hardest to get to that point. So,
nice. Yep, for sure.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
For me, I played 2 pretty abysmal rounds, the first 2 rounds. And then, third round, I just didn't take myself out of the tournament. You know, a lot of times you can come in just not motivated, not excited. I was like, all right, let's shoot one good round. Let's get some momentum moving forward. And I did just that. And especially coming down the stretch, I want to, your point, Ezra, with the upshot on 18 and stuff like that, I did have to lay up on 18. I made the island for the first time on 16.
Nice.
I think I had a chance at birdie on 17 and just caught this twig that kept me from birdieing, and then I was like 50 feet and missed my putt. But made a couple of clutch plays down the stretch and like felt like I played a round of disc golf that I could be proud of a little bit. And like, all right, I'm actually playing disc golf again. It's feeling good and like
build that confidence.
So hopefully I can just move forward from there. So
sweet.
Another note. This is an interesting one I found with Queen City. My forehand upshot game was just not feeling great. And so I just leaned on my backhand upshot game. And so this is the first tournament where I would like step up to straight shots, open shots, things like that, and just throw putter approach shots. And I was really good with them. I was really happy with how that played out for me. So I think it was, a good like lesson in rounding out my game a little bit, working on some of the other shots that I need to have as well. Nice. So
it's good to have that awareness too of like knowing what's not firing that day or that weekend, and then just being like, listen, it's not this shot's weak. I'm just gonna put it away.
And it's a good lesson of like a lot of times I just leaned so heavily on my forehand upshots that I'm scared to throw backhand upshots. And this week I wasn't like that. I'm like, you know what? It's 200 foot shot and it's wide open. I'm just gonna hit the base So it's cool having that confidence.
That's going forward now. You have both.
Yeah,
you get confidence from both shots.
Definitely.
All right, off-week recap. I feel like we dove into this a little bit. One thing from the practice round that I wanted to mention was, and we kind of got roasted in the comments on this one, was apparently we didn't see a timber rattler. We saw an Eastern racer. And its whole concept is to mimic the movements of a timber rattler when it's scared. It rattles its tail in the leaves, and it sounds like a timber rattler.
Okay.
So I'm like,
oh, wow.
we got roasted for nothing, I feel like. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it's like
we
that's
got
kind
roasted
of-
for not knowing snakes.
We
you know,
got
but, like,
roasted for falling for the evolutionary tactic that this snake
Yes,
has.
exactly.
It fooled us.
Yep.
That's what it's supposed to do. It's
Yeah.
like, that's funny. I didn't know that.
To be
Anyway.
fair, I like looked at the snake. It was like rattling, which obviously
Yeah.
was like the leaves and stuff like that. And I looked up like,
Dude, your photo looked the same
Yes.
as the snake. So I don't know what. Maybe people are wrong.
I
you know,
looked
but
up
probably
tree
not.
Virginia rattlesnake, and it pulled up the picture that looked just like the snake. And I'm like, boom, that has to be it.
I got to be honest. You sent that to me. I put it in the practice round.
Yeah.
I was like, I looked at them side by side, and I'm like, yeah, those are the same snake.
It's the same
Like,
snake.
So anyway, I don't know. It did its job. It fooled us, but you know, we're not
That's
Jake
funny.
Ebenheimer, so
Right.
yeah, maybe we need him on the
Dude,
practice round.
it was
picks
aggressive
him up.
too, man. He was staring us
Dude,
down.
it was actually kind of sketchy. Not a chill boy at all.
No.
Well, he was eating lunch, so like, you can't hardly blame
Yeah,
him.
that's true.
Yep.
Off week stories. I got my bike fixed, so I went on my first 2 mountain bike rides of the year. Super fun. There's a really cool trail system near here. DuPont Park, I think, had some really nice trails. So I got in, I think, a 15-mile bike ride here in Charlotte, and then I think 24 or something over in DuPont. So definitely cooked the legs, but I'm going to try to keep strong with the goal I set out of getting some bike riding in this year. So
Nice.
definitely happy about that.
I've been doing stationary bike this last week.
Ooh,
Kind of
sounds
tiring, kind of boring.
not like fun.
Yeah, not that fun.
I
But
saw
I think
one-
it's good for the car, good for the halt.
I agree.
All that stuff. I've just been in Virginia. My family's up here. Also, I've been hanging out, playing tennis.
I heard you've been trying new activities.
Yeah, we played tennis one time. I'm really bad at it, so it's like it's not fun. It's not like I'm not good enough to have like fun because we can't like volley enough, you know. So we spend most of the time just like picking the balls up. But there was potential. I feel like once you get to the point where you're just like hitting the ball back and forth, I think it'd be fun. It feels so good. It's like such an athletic movement,
Right.
you know, and it's like those action involved, so it's a different aspect than you get with disc golf, and it's so much more physical. So
It's one of the things my coach told me. He's like, hey, when you're teaching tennis lessons to like kids, the key is half of the tennis lesson is just them picking up balls. like that will be half of what's
Yeah.
going on here.
Yep. Tennis is a fun time. We should
You play
at
too a
some
little
point.
bit,
Yeah,
right?
you play too. Yeah.
I played in high school. I wouldn't say I was great, but
Yeah.
I played.
We,
You can
we
get
need
over that
Ezra
in
to get on the
bounds.
ball machine,
Yep.
get going. We need
Yep.
Eli to get the foot,
Yep.
fully better.
Yep, that would be
and
nice.
then we can
once I get the
duke
ball
it out on the
machine,
tennis
bro.
court.
Once I get the ball machine, I really hope that thing works out because it's like a Hong Kong thing. So I'm not really sure. I'm trying to work on a brand deal with a tennis ball machine, and if that works out, then I can maybe.
Hey, I'm hoping
Get
it works
decent.
out too, man.
Yeah.
I want to take a crack at this
Dude,
thing as
it
well.
looks so fun.
Yep, that's sweet. My off week was kind of chill. Edited a bunch, got some speedy upgrades to my editing process, so that was
Heck
nice.
yeah.
And then went to a place in the north of North Carolina, Stone Mountain,
Okay.
which was a really cool state park. And I camped there for one night because it was kind of booked on the weekend, but I was like, cool, I can get one night there. Decided to take a bike ride right before dinner, and I was like, oh yeah, this park road, I think it goes like uphill, and I'll get like a view of the mountain. This will be nice and cool. Turn right out of the campground, immediate downhill, giant downhill. And I was like, oh, geez, all right, we'll have to come back up at that at the end. But it should start to go up now. And it just kept going down and kept going down and kept going down. And I was like, oh, boy. And I was 3.5 miles in, and I was like, we're cutting our losses. We're biking back up the hill. It never went up. It never went up. So anyway.
Jeez.
Enjoyed the time there. Took a hike to the top of the Stone Mountain. And that was pretty cool. Went and saw a couple friends in Raleigh as well. So
Nice.
yeah, nice chill week.
Is that the difference between Appalachians and Colorado? It's the Stone Mountains versus the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, maybe. Yep, the 30 million years of aging or whatever it is, whatever it takes. All right, we have a new disc golf game that I am debuting.
I like the games.
So yeah, let's see. I gotta get this together. It's a little thrown together here at the end, but
Unfortunately for all of you guys back at home, Ezra and I know nothing about disc golf.
Yeah.
So this may
That's-
not be good.
I mean, it'll be fun for people to play along and like they can beat us every single time. Like, are these idiots?
Yep. All right. We are going to do, let's see, I wrote it down. All right, so this game is going to be called Guess the NT Winner in MPO. only.
Oh boy.
We're gonna have 5 tournaments. It's gonna be a 4-person multiple choice, and I'll do a countdown like 3, 2, 1, and you both say your answer of the multiple choice, and then it's gonna be a head-to-head points matchup.
All right.
So, yep,
I'm ready.
let's get.
I hope it's years that I played disc golf.
No, this is part of the point.
No.
Is that it's not years that you played disc golf. That's the point of the multiple choice, though. You need help on these. Is the idea? No cheating and looking at the big screen.
The thing is, even if we did like the last 2 years, obviously not NT then, but if you did like Pro Tour, I still would be bad at this game.
Yeah,
and I played these events.
I might throw in a couple more recent ones. I can do that too.
We'll see how bad we are.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll do 2. We'll judge, and then we'll move from there. Okay, we have the Discraft Great Lakes Open from 2007. Okay.
Oh boy, I have to even think about
that's
what
crazy.
generation.
That's a real year. Is insane. Okay.
I watched Memorial.
So here are 4 players, and I'm gonna all of these players will have taken top 10. Okay. That is my caveat here to this game as well. So we have Marcus Karlstrom.
Oh boy.
We have Dave Felberg. We have Matty O. And we have Kale LaVisca.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
Marcus
Karlstrom, Dave Felberg, Matty O, Kale LaVisca.
I feel like this is a trick question, but maybe not. We'll see. All right, I've got mine.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Dave Felberg.
Okay.
All right. You both were wrong. It was Kale LaVisca.
Kale won it. Wow.
I was going to say Matty O next. That's crazy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You're going to say Matty O next?
Well, because Kale's so young still.
Matty O won his first one
Kale's playing Masters
2 years ago.
Well,
if you can believe it.
Is that what that is?
There's a national tour.
Yeah, this is a national tour.
Oh, so Matty O's won national tours?
In your defense, if he had won a national tour, they probably would have said like, "Oh, he won."
Actually,
I probably would know that. So
let me fact check.
See, I was thinking
he probably hasn't. Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking he hadn't.
His only Elite Series or above, well, just Elite Series is MVP.
Okay.
Yeah, he had
so
never
that makes
won
sense.
an
That's
NT.
good. Well, I'm glad I didn't say that.
I
thought it was going to be Marcus, and I'm sorry, Marcus, but I've never heard of you.
Marcus Karlstrom was a Swedish player.
Oh, really?
Yep. He was one of the early Europeans touring in the States. He actually ended up taking. I'll spoil one of the tournaments I could use. I guess it wasn't NT, it was Worlds, but. In 2007, the World Championships were at Highbridge, Wisconsin, and he took second to Nate Doss there.
Wow.
And they almost went to a playoff. I think it came down to the final hole, and Doss parked it, and Marcus did not. So
okay.
Yep.
Disc golf history.
Yeah. Here.
Good job, Kale. That's a good win. D-Glow.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been that guy for so long. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
He came in clutch for me.
Yeah, I picked him last week.
James Conrad, I think, dropped out of the tournament. Ooh. So they slotted Kale LaVisca in there because I mentioned that it was a really good pick. And he did come in clutch, got some good points for me.
Yep. He made a nice putt on the last hole I saw.
Okay, this should be a fun one. This should be a good tournament. All right, we have King of the Lake in 2011.
Okay, you got to give me a state on that one.
Okay, King of the Lake is in it's Lake Tahoe, California.
Okay.
I believe they play a lot of rounds. Yeah. This is
2011.
four rounds. A lot of different courses from what I.
Paul's starting to get good at this point.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I think Ricky's.
But Steve.
Again, all top 10 finishers. We've got Ricky Wysocki.
Okay.
Steve Rico.
See, I like Steve. I
was going to say Steve before we started. So
Me too.
It's up there.
Same thing.
Devin Owens. And Goose, you'll like this one. Joe Revere.
Oh my
Holy
God.
cash. At Lake Tahoe. That's elevation.
It's tough to bet against that, actually.
So we went Ricky, Steve Rico, Joe Revere, Devin Owens.
Ricky's so young.
2011.
Devin Owens is a lefty, but he was
2011. I think Joe was a top 5 player in the world.
Yeah, he might have been.
I'll sort ratings for this event after it just to see where he slots in. But
I'm ready.
This was Prodigy Ricky, right?
No, Prodigy was.
This might have been Discraft.
Prodigy was 2013, I believe.
Okay, this is pre-Prodigy.
This is pre-Prodigy. Ricky would have been.
Was he Discraft back then?
Innova?
He would have been like 12.
He might have been on Innova. Yeah, I don't know. It might. I don't know. Who knows? He could have been on Discraft at one point.
I thought he was Discraft way back in the day too.
I think it might have been as well. I think Ricky
him
has
and John
literally
too?
just been on every team ever.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Steve
Joe.
Rico.
I gotta go, Joe.
I knew you would.
I was gonna say
I'm
Steve.
scared you might be right.
We might have to move a little more modern. You were both wrong again. Devin Owens.
It is
Devin Owens.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
He took it home. I
one
saw
of the best
Joe
lefties of all
Revere's name
time.
on there, and I was like, I
I'll
know
throw it
where
in there.
Goose is going.
Hey man,
right now.
his win percentage is like 60% or something like that. So like,
Valid.
it's a good guess. If he's in the tournament, he probably won it.
Yep, for sure. No, not a bad guess. Yeah, I may be being a little too cheeky. All right, we'll get to a more modern event now. Here, let me scroll to.
And I also knew he was going to guess Steve, so I figured
had
we had at least better odds if I guessed someone else.
At this point, if one of us gets it, it feels like a win for both of us.
Yeah.
21,
How
you
about
guys might
you
remember.
guess as well on this next
Oh,
one?
here we go.
How? I'm looking at the.
Then we might get it
We
right.
might get it right. Yeah. I like that.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go.
Oh,
A tournament close to Ezra's heart. 2018 Las Vegas Challenge. You might know this one off the rip, but
wow.
we'll see.
Is it Las Vegas Challenge or is it Gentlemen's Club?
At that point, it was Las Vegas Challenge. It was the first year. I believe Gentlemen's Club ended in maybe 2016 was last year. It was called that. But
'Kay.
Las Vegas Challenge, yes.
I don't know it.
2018.
2018. All right, we have Paul Macbeth, Drew Gibson, Joel Freeman, or Eagle McMahon.
Oh boy, those
I think
are
I
the
know who
names
it
I
is.
wanted.
I think I know who it is because I think I was at this event, spectating,
Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna go look for
brooding. No. I was trash at this point. I was like, what are these guys doing? How can I beat these guys?
Yep.
And
All right.
I think this is
18.
Paul
Okay.
Macbeth,
think-
Yep,
Drew Gibson,
I'm ready.
Joel
think it's
Freeman,
this.
Eagle McMahon. 3, 2, 1.
Paul
Paul.
Macbeth. I think this is the year he skip aced that one hole. It's like hole 11 or something, and I was right there. I don't think he gave
That
me a high
was
five.
2017.
No, I was 1 year
Eagle
off. It was
McMahon.
the
This is
Well, I was
Eagle.
there.
Dang it!
It's an Eagles. Yeah, okay.
I mean, you even
Eagle-
gave us
That was close.
easy ones. Like we know that Drew's only won 2, and we know Joel hasn't won one. I mean, we're like,
That's one Joel
that's true.
shredded.
I didn't even think about
I'm like, you're giving us like
That was a
50-50s here.
That was a
and
complete
we're
softball.
still
Wow.
losing.
We'll get one.
I will say 2018 was kind of Eagles' year. He was the man
Yeah.
that year.
Oh, yeah.
He won I don't even know how many national tours, but I think he won 4 pro tours.
He was
Really?
insane.
And multiple national tours as well, I would imagine.
Dude, peak Eagle. Peak Eagles like
Terrifying.
a top 5 playoff all time. He might be top 3. Like, it's crazy.
Like
He
skill-wise?
was so good. Yeah. I mean,
Okay, we got to get somebody a point here. So
Yeah.
we're going to go to 2021.
All right,
Yes.
here we go. Let's go World Championships. I'm ready.
No. Hold on.
brutal.
I'd still probably miss it.
We're going to stick with national tours because that's
Yeah,
what
I like
title
that.
is. But
I like that.
2021 Texas State Disc Golf Championship.
Oh, I know
Oh, I
this.
know this one.
Wait, before we get multiple choice.
Yeah.
Do we want to lock in?
Yeah, so to give us a 3-2-1.
Dang it. I
Give us a
realize
3-2-1.
now, looking at it. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Ricky.
Iwasaki.
All right.
He won all of them.
Okay.
He won like
You
10
each
in
have
a
a
row.
A couple years ago, he didn't win because we didn't have a Pro Tour there. GT Hancock won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're
But it wasn't Pro Tour. So
Okay. I just
Still
remember
good
there's a
win, but
stat that he
yeah.
won like 10 years in a row.
6
or
in a row or
something.
something, yeah.
I realize now that was a mistake. All right. Well,
Hey,
that's
fine.
we're on the board.
You
We'll
guys are
take
both
it.
on the board, and that was number 4. So we now need to dig into. You know what?
I like
I'm gonna-
2021. Let's keep it with 2021. A different national tour.
We're gonna go back a little bit.
All right.
Maybe 2019. I think 2019 is fair. It's
a good year.
It's a good year. We've got.
Okay,
2019 was a good year.
Was that Paul's year? No, 18 was Paul's year.
18 was Paul's year. 19 was Ricky. I think Ricky was better.
Okay.
Oh my! All right, this is gonna be a
But it
fun
doesn't-
one. This is gonna be a fun one. Okay, we have the Delaware Disc Golf Challenge in 2019.
Oh, gosh.
We have Calvin Heimberg, Albert Tom, James Conrad, or Matt Bell.
Oh,
good.
I know this one. I think I know this one.
Ooh,
I do not.
I think I know this one.
we like this. We like this. This could be a win for you, Ezra.
I think it
Goose
could
can't
be.
lock in right now.
I think this could be it.
All right, I'll read the names one more time.
Okay.
We went Calvin Heimberg, Albert Tom, James Conrad, or Matt Bell.
Did Matt Bell win one? All right, I've got my answer.
3, 2, 1.
James.
Matt Bell.
You're going Matt Bell?
I'm going Matt Bell. I think it's Matt Bell. He won one national tour. I think this is it.
He's going Matt Bell. He locked it down.
I did.
Matt Bell.
It's correct. Good guess.
Ezra gets the win.
Dude, he putted out of his mind that tournament too. While watching it on John Ezra.
That's a good course
Crazy.
for his little flip up too. I can see him just lacing all those lines and then cashing huge putts.
It was insane.
Oh, dude, I've played with him a few times, and the putting is so annoying, dude. Because you get there and you're like, oh, I put it to like 20, right. And Matt throws one and it kicks a tree, and he's at like 60 with like what you think is no look walking off the tee, and then you're like, you get up there and he just cashes it, and he's just like demoralized. You're like, how do I get a stroke on this guy right now?
It's even worse when you're at like 30 feet, and then you're like, I've got to make this not to lose a stroke. What just happened?
Yep. All right, so that was the new game.
I like it.
I think we need to bring it back. Maybe not every episode, but a few times. We've got certainly a litany of national tours to go through. So
definitely give us some comments. What games you'd like to see? The one I've been thinking that would be fun is charades.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Okay.
You want to see me dance?
So here's the thing.
Gooseman's got the moves,
no, this actually sounds fun.
If you saw the silhouette of any person throwing on tour, you would know who it is.
For the most part. So somebody does this on Instagram sometimes, and usually it is pretty easy to tell.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
So it's just whether we can act out that.
That's fun.
Okay.
Wow.
And then on top of that, after you try for a second and nobody gets it, then you can do something like, you can be like, or something along those lines, and then like do some like quirky stuff. Right.
Okay.
God, no, there's a lot of good game suggestions. We have a couple lined up, so I'll try and get a few more like planned. But
that's fun.
Yeah, I didn't get enough planned for this.
It's a good segment.
Anyway, we have two more things that I had on the list, but we can talk about anything else. The first thing I want to go over is the future of Champions Cup and / major locations, and just kind of your opinion on this. So I want to give a little bit of background first from the PDGA. Return of the IDGC. So the International Disc Golf Center is set to end its operational hiatus following the year's closure, following 2 detrimental acts of nature. The Champions Cup will return in 2028, and the course will reopen this fall in 2026. Sweet. It is going to be designed by Paul Macbeth and Brian Earhart in collaboration. At least the elite course is, and then they will have their 2 other courses as they did, but it will be vastly different all across the property, kind of a thing. What are your thoughts on that return? And do you like the potential of? I mean, I guess we're gonna have to go back and just see what that course is even like now with so many trees out from the pine beetles. But
it's got to be tough to have an opinion on it now because we don't know what it's like. But it was such an epic place, so hopefully they have some of that.
Amazing courses, all of them, all around. And it was a real shame that we lost that with the disasters that happened. Right. I really like that Paul Macbeth and Earhart are designing this. Yep. I haven't heard, I've never seen Earhart design a course before, so I don't know what that'll be like, but he's a very intelligent guy, so I think that he'll have some good things to say. Yep. Paul's shown that he does really well with course design also. I really hope that they try to make it too hard. I think that the erring on that side to begin with would be a really cool place to start. Right. And
it's always easier to back it off. It's always easier to make a course easier than it is to make it more difficult, I feel like.
I agree.
For sure. And the players get adapted faster than you think. Like, I would be interested to see what Big Easy looks like next year. That's one that, like, you're really
it really is the truth. Steve Dodge mentioned that to us. He's like, I designed holes to be too hard for the field, and then in 2 years it'll be like standard. And that's kind of what happened with hole 9. He designed it. There were like 3 birdies on it for the weekend. Next year we've got like 10% birdies on it. So I mean, it's gone up substantially. I'd love to go back there again. It's hard to say for sure whether it's going to be great or not. I think the one thing that's worth discussing is, should Champions Cup be woods disc golf? They've kind of set that precedent of like, that's what it's supposed to be. They started it at W.R. Jackson.
The only year off was last year.
And the only year off was last year.
Didn't mind it.
And I really liked it. I liked the OTB thing. And the main thing that I really liked about the OTB, which I think they did maybe a little too much or not quite as good as they could have, was the alternate pin locations. I think that is a really cool element that they added, and I think that should be a staple of Champions Cup. And I think that they should just keep messing with that. I think that playing 4 rounds of the same course, here in Lynchburg, and then maybe, obviously it's moving, but like if we just kept it the same course all the time, I think that would be a little bit boring. So
I feel like anytime you have a tournament where it's one course, 4 days, moving the pins around is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Even if it was 3 days, I think you can still do it.
USDGC
I think moving the pins is such of a benefit.
I think it's a great thing that they did, and I think they should even do more of it.
Yeah.
I love it, and I think that it's a great element that adds a lot to the course.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing quick about IDGC. They do have like the Disc Golf Hall of Fame and some other cool things around there. So there's a little bit more of the history of the sport available when you go to a stop like that. So that's something that's cool that they're going to be able to bring back.
I heard that it's an important thing too for like the PDGA to like have a home base and that like be the home base for PDGA. Right. So I do really like that. It's a great place. It's a great site to visit. Some amazing courses, some really cool history to see there. So overall, I think it is a really cool thing.
Yep. That said, with the wooded element as well, I think this leads into another question I had. Like, does a more mobile or rotating major make more sense for Champions Cup, or would you rather see it stay stagnant in one place?
I love the rotating thing. I love seeing it stay mobile. I love people putting in extra work at the course. So like OTB is a great example of like a standard tour stop that we've had the past few years. And then it just felt bigger, better than it's ever been before. Wow. And you could just see that they put extra effort in, and it made it an amazing event. I think there's a lot of other courses. We've got Elite Pluses, which are in the same similar kind of ballpark to that. But I like it moving around, and I know that a lot of people like Woods Golf. Maybe I'm just like recency bias. For 4 Woods Golf courses in a row, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to play some different golf.
Jonesboro's gonna be nice.
It's interesting for sure.
Yeah, I don't mind having it be like a Woods major. We have USDGC, which is more of an open major. I do think the benefit of having a course in the same spot or tournament in the same spot every single year allows it to like build that prestige and build history and build the like familiarity with it, which I think is a little bit more difficult to do if we bounce it around. So I think I would honestly err on the side of picking one course that's really, really good and having that be the spot. So if IDGC can do it and make WR Jackson 2.0 that lives up to the standard of what the major should be, then I think that'd be best case scenario. But selfishly, let's go back to OTB. I love that option.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I think the rotating element, I'm going to agree with Goose here. I think the rotating element is much better, and I honestly would like to see Champions Cup like rotate. Again, this may be 5 years down the road, but rotate as far as possible as well. Bring back some of those overseas majors potentially. In a time where
in Aussie Open,
that'd be sick.
Japan Open was a major.
New Zealand's been putting a big push.
Yep.
Canada has some great courses as well.
Yep, for sure. So there's a lot of spots and a lot of exploration. And I feel like this 4th major, as much as it feels a little manufactured still, because it was just named the 4th major, Champions Cup, and I think it has prestige, but like that's because we're placing prestige on it. But I think there's an opportunity to bring it as many places as possible. But I think setting it's at IDGC once every 3 years or something like that, would be fine too.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like. I think it's one of my favorite majors as far as qualifying goes. I think it's a really cool concept. You have the champions aspect. So if you are a champion from any of these other things, let me put it to you this way: USDGC does their qualifying in a way where they give out bids at different A tiers, and the top 4 players or whatever it is at those A tiers get in, and it's a good way of spreading that around the state, and you get some extra things. Yeah. And I think the Champions Cup does that element of that even better. Of hey, we've got all of these different tournaments that are very big, important tournaments for these different areas. If you're a champion of one of those tournaments, if you win one of those tournaments, you get into Champions Cup. And then aside from that, it is just we're going to put the next best players in the world in after that. And I think that's the way the field should be filled, to the point of this gets you the best field. Plus you also get this element of, hey, some guy just went off at this tournament in a different, country. And, we now have a 980 player in our tournament, but that's because he won, and now he gets into Champions Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a really cool way of qualifying it, and I like it better than USDGC, and I like it better than European Open, because if you're a top touring player in the world, you know you're going to get into it.
Unless you miss signups.
Yeah,
which definitely didn't happen to me at all.
And that just like takes some pressure off those top guys because they know that they get to play all of the majors.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
Which as a major, like you want the top guys though.
Yeah,
right? You want the best competition, the best products. I feel like it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
Yep, for sure. Next question. This is I did have an intermediary one there. Speaking of rotations and stuff like that, and we're kind of going to jump into this with Lynchburg specifically, but should there be a minimum return time for the World Championships, like once every 10 years? And I'm going to segue this into the next question as well, which is there too heavy of a focus in Lynchburg in this stretch of years? Because we had 2024 Worlds, we had 2025 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, 2026 Champions Cup, 26 Pro Tour Championship, 27 Champions Cup, 27 Pro Tour Championship, not sure about that one.
Yeah.
But also then 28 Worlds. 4 majors, potentially 3 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships, so 6 or 7 giant events in the span of just 5 seasons. Is that too much? Is there a rotation, timeline that makes sense that you think is there?
I totally agree with you on this. I think that there should be a timeline, and I think 10 years is a good pace for that. I was a vehement believer that we went back to Vermont too quickly.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree.
I think there are so many better courses. I love that we went to Utah. And, some people really didn't like that Worlds and things like that. But I think that that's the beauty of Worlds is you get it in different places. It rotates, and then you get people that really put some effort into their 2 courses, and they put on an amazing event. We got it in Europe last year at Tampere. I thought that was such an amazing event, and I'd love to see more of that happen. Just new, going to new places for the World Championships, getting new crowds, new people excited about it. And so I totally agree that coming back 3-4 years later, whatever it is way too soon. And I think it should be about 10 years.
Yep. We've had this a number of times as well. I went back and looked a little bit, and I'm not going to list all of them, but there seemed to be this 10-year rotation. Like I know Charlotte, Cincinnati both had ones. Again, this is kind of way back. But we're talking 90s, 2000s, but they had about 10 years between their 2 world championships that they hosted or whatever. And then I think Charlotte had one in 2012 again, and I think 02 or 01 or something, somewhere in that range. So it seemed to have a good thing. And then we went Emporia close together, which was 20.
Was there Worlds there?
2016 and 2022. And then, and then GMC was 2018 and 23.
And then I think that Ledgestone's a big one that they want to do it at, multiple times. I think that Deglow's a big one they want to do it at multiple times. I think Portland's a big one they want to do it at multiple times.
Yeah.
And these are all big events, but I love that they have this spot on tour, which is Elite Plus or Playoff. I love these events. I love playing the events, but let's have some originality with Worlds. I totally agree with this, and I think that it would even be sad if we play the same 10 Worlds. This 10 years, and then 10 years later we played the same 10 Worlds it's
the idea is expanding, and I think the growth of the sport with Worlds is cool every year. Having B pool be half filled with international players, I think is really valuable because in having played with a lot of those international players on those cards, because I am starting in B pool usually, they value that so much. Wow. And it's such an honor to go represent their country at the World Championships in disc golf, and it's they can really bring that back to their community and say, hey, I went here, I played the World Championships, and it was this really cool moment. And it gives people in that country or in that community something else to strive for too, of hey, I could go play Worlds if I'm the best player from my country as well. So I think using that is good.
I like all that. I wonder what the reasoning is to go back to some of these places so soon. I would assume the PJ also doesn't want to come back to Lynchburg, 3 years later, 4, whatever it is. Yeah. But I wonder if it's just a budgeting thing, or if these other tournaments just don't want to put it on because it's too big of an undertaking, or they don't have the funds, or they don't have the community, whatever it is, and then you end up just having this situation where you just cycle the same 3 events over and over again.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I don't know.
My understanding of it is that we've seen the level of majors get raised, over the past few years, and I know they're talking about it with Deglow as well. This is going to be the best Worlds. They're
which is
hyping
awesome.
it up. It's great, and we love to see that. But you wonder if other people are getting a little bit unnerved at the amount that they're seeing and saying, "Hey, I don't know that we can put this on at this spot."
Yep.
And so it's has the bar sort of been raised I don't want to say raised too high, but it's like, are places getting boxed out of like being
it gets to a point.
City,
yeah, it gets to a point where only 3 people can host it at that level, and then
right.
they just end up taking it.
Here's the thing: I don't want to on Lynchburg either. I think that having Worlds in Lynchburg was one of the best Worlds I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
I think that was such a beautiful new place to put everything. The both courses were amazing. I thought it was an awesome event, and I loved that whole situation. It's just coming, like you said, it's just coming back here for another World Championship.
The reason
with
I
the Pro
bring
Tour
this
Championship, with all that stuff.
The reason I bring this up was
Champions,
nothing to do with like the quality being bad of this these tournaments, of these events, whatever. It's just like, is it too stagnant of a product? Is it too stagnant of a playing style for players, stuff like that?
Honestly, I feel like we almost need to see numbers. We'd almost need to see if the viewership tails off as we get more and more events, or if we get less fans spectating. Without that, it's kind of hard to say too, honestly.
Right. And as much as this is like maybe controversial, I would be more a fan of a place like MVP taking over Champions Cup for a year or something like that. So you know what I mean? Where we switch up some of these staples in our thing and being like, hey, why doesn't MVP put on the major? They can put in the different basket locations. They can do all the things they need to make the major happen. And we just need to switch up the schedule a little bit to make that happen. You know, like Supreme Flight. Why don't we have a World Championships down in Florida? You know, like why don't we like look at some of these other tournaments that are such like great events and be like, you know, instead of coming back to our same places, instead of always, you know, finishing GMC MVP, we could switch some things up, and I think it could make it really interesting as well.
I agree.
All right. I feel like we've exhausted that topic to a point. Let's jump into Champions Cup preview, and that's kind of all I have. So I don't really have any specific questions for this, but I guess I'd ask you guys how you're feeling about the course, about the change between hole 1 and hole 18 kind of a thing, and then just what is your overall thoughts going in?
Yeah, so let's start with the change hole 118 thing. The only other change other than that is they brought in a couple OB lines, which I don't think matters too much on whatever that hole is, like 13.
Right. Up the road. Right.
It's about the same. In fact, I probably am okay with that. The change on hole 1 is tough. I really do like half OB line, half rough. I think it's such a good way of weighing your risk reward. You get some people that played it a little too safe. They're in the rough. Now they have to weigh the risk reward again, see if they want to go from there. So I think it's a really cool opportunity to provide the decision making and the execution of the important shots versus the OB on both sides makes it a little less interesting. I also think that old hole 18 was the perfect hole 18. You could push for eagle. You could take any score. Nobody felt safe. It was an absolutely amazing hole 18, and I'm sad that it's hole 1. But I do trust the tournament director that it will view better the other way around. And if that's the decision that they're going with, then obviously there is a reason for that. And I'm hoping that that's better for disc golf in general. So if you can get more people watching the finish on 18, it will be better than having a better hole 18. So I will trust them there and see how the tournament plays out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as a player experience, not as good, but the fan experience is going to be better. And I think that's the most important thing. If the spectators actually enjoy it, if they can actually see what's going on. And then 18 is the most important hole. That's where it finishes. You'll have so many people all along that whole bank. So I think it makes sense. As far as the rest of the course goes, it's kind of bare out there. It's kind of just empty. There's no leaves. Those dead leaves on the ground a little bit, but they clean them out in the fairways really nicely, which is, they always do a good job of that. But yeah, the trees just look bare. It's very strange.
Lets the wind through a lot more.
Yeah,
we'll have a lot more windy woods.
Yeah.
It feels, very winter vibes.
Yes.
Like we're like 2 weeks away from like perfect spring disc golf.
Right.
But it's not quite there.
The spring's going to be chasing us for a little bit on the tour, I think.
Yeah.
Charlotte, we were like almost there.
Yeah.
Here, we're almost there. I think Jonesboro, probably the same thing.
It'll be close.
Jonesboro might have a little more spring, but then we go north again to Kansas City, and it's like we're kind of going to have 4 weeks of spring or something like that. So
I'm hoping once we get back to Texas, it'll be a new Texas. One of the issues I've had in the past with Texas is we always play it like early season, tons of wind, super cold, lots of rain. Just a lot of things that make it like less enjoyable. And I'm thinking if we come back, a month later, it'll actually make the Texas swing more enjoyable.
Right. It's only one event. It's short swing.
Oh, right.
Two.
I'm playing Waco.
Oh, you're
as
playing
well.
Waco. Okay.
So
Yeah, you're right.
it feels a little more like a swing to me.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as Champion Cup goes, a couple players I want to shout out. Luke Taylor has only beaten Gannon Burr twice in his life. And it was both times at this course, World Championships and Pro Tour Finals, where he took 4th place finish. So I think he is a very clutch pick this week.
That's why I picked him.
Yep, he shreds out there. So, and I think more than that, he knows in his head that he can do it.
Right.
And I think that is actually almost like, I think courses can be
a huge role.
built for players and stuff like that. But I think like Nathan Queen's a great example of just he knows he can win at Charlotte, and it just helps him play better. Just having that confidence.
Yeah. As someone who isn't that consistent, I feel like I do have my tournaments throughout the year where I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to play well this week.
Yep.
You know, and I
that
know
helps.
those spots. And
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. It's a few things like that. Other players to watch out for, Ezra and Isaac. Obviously, you guys probably watched the doubles round.
Please don't.
Both.
Please don't.
Absolutely shredding.
They've already watched it. It's already out.
Yeah.
They played amazing at
They're impressive.
The tournament last year. And Isaac even won the tournament, the Worlds, the year before.
Right.
Yeah.
Calvin Heimberg, I think, is another person to watch out for. I think it's a really good course for his game. And then dark horse, I am calling it. I don't think Gannon Burr wins this tournament. That's
a big call, but you picked him on your hold my bag. So you think it's a tier 2 win champion potentially. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
You might have to go with who I picked in tier 2.
I like that, Goose. I like
Hey,
that.
let's
that's
go.
what you need.
Let's
Come
go.
on.
How about this dark horse pick? Paul Macbeth. He's missed the last 2 events. We don't really know what he's going to do, but he designed the course and he's built for it. I think he could do well.
Is he back?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, hey, great question. I was actually
know.
going to bring this up. I'm glad you brought it up. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's, healthy again or what went on. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I guess I wish we had a little more information for you guys, but we don't.
I will say it's bad for disc golf when Paul Macbeth is not playing tournaments.
No, for sure. So huge.
Yeah. We would love to have him back for this course, this tournament at his place. Yep. I don't think he did very well last year on New London. So I don't know for sure. I don't know.
I don't remember.
But
check.
It's honestly a great course overall.
It is. Yeah, it's very solid. We said this in the practice round too, but it's kind of what I feel like modern woods golf is.
Yeah.
And last week or 2 weeks ago was kind of what like retro disc golf in the woods is.
Yep.
Both done well, but it's just this is the more fresh, modern feeling.
Oh, and then the other one, I almost forgot to shout out. Kyle Klein, I think is going to be a really dark horse pick as well. I would
he's kind of always dark horse.
Wager he's going to take top 6.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like
he's one of the most under the radar guys. Where it's just like I don't know. I feel like you don't think about him too much, but then he's always top 10. He's always like top 5. He's in the mix a lot.
This is the perfect kind of course for it. He has such a smooth backhand for these lines. He just hits the lines.
Makes his putts. He throws his forehands are good. I mean,
chips his way through the course and just shoots good rounds. Yep. Doesn't make bad shots much.
2 under, 4 under for Paul last year on the 2.
That's not bad, actually.
It's not bad, but it's not winning.
Yep.
Yeah. He took 6th overall. So, he can. I mean, he can definitely put himself in the mix. It's just like whether he's, on his game.
Playing,
after a couple weeks.
I think actually round 1, Gannon had the best round.
Okay, well, let's. Yeah, I mean, he's playing it. I'm not.
Good point. Now I get it. Oh my gosh.
Starting strokes, baby.
It's funny because like Ezra got that like 5 seconds before Eli got that.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the stats. That was real bad for me. This is not a good look.
Oh man.
You edit these. You can just cut it out if you want.
Honestly. You can just cut my face out for the rest of it.
Oh boy. I don't have that kind of time on my hands.
Fair enough.
No, it's all good. We like to keep things real for you guys for the most part.
I will say Lynchburg is a really cool city for disc golf. There are a ton of fans out here. It's a great collegiate school for disc golf as well. I know they have a huge program there. Yeah. So it is fun being in the city just because like you like drive around. Like today I was driving down and I was like, oh, I think I recognize this. I'm like, oh yeah, there's Foundation Disc Golf right there. Yeah. So it's
I feel like
really,
it's boomed somewhat recently. Like I feel like when Foundation came in, Paul lived here for a little bit. Like I feel like a lot of those things. Liberty, I don't know how big Liberty's been a big disc golf school, but
Liberty has been big in disc golf for a while. At least like 5 maybe more years. I believe
because 5 years would make sense. Well, it's like that's what's kind of taking
right.
off.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they offer scholarships, I believe, for disc golf
right.
now.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
When
it's
I
becoming
played,
I still have eligibility.
Ooh.
Maybe I'm going back.
boy. Yeah, Goose and I are out of that.
We're out of that mix. When I was playing, Liberty might not have had the best team, but they had the biggest team. Like they had the most people, the most teams in it, and they might have been the best too. I don't remember for sure.
I would say it was something like that.
Something like that.
I probably only. When were you playing college disc golf?
Mine was 2017, 18, 19.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to tone that down. Sorry. All good.
And then I would have played 2020, but COVID hit.
Okay. Yep. And I kind of came in right after that. So
right after that.
Just missed each other.
Yep.
But you're right. They were always a big team. They would have like A, B, and C teams. Yeah. They
and
would.
We're like,
Can we get 4 people?
Yeah. We had 3 people before we showed up, and we grabbed a guy off the street.
The big challenge with college disc golf is like these teams have to do a lot of organizing on their own. I know when I was at Minnesota, it was a lot of pressure on the players to like keep the club alive and keep it going, and it's tricky. You have to have people that are like either willing to pay the money to fly down, or like because there's almost no club support at bigger schools where it's not. University of Minnesota, obviously, like a big athletic, D1 university, and it's like they don't care about disc golf right now, and you can barely even get club funding if that, and you kind of usually don't. But that's a barrier of entry for a lot of colleges.
For sure. I was a little before that too. So like they did this thing where they started having league matches. They had regional tournaments, things like that, where like you had to go play all the other teams.
Right.
I just had to qualify. So we played 2 tournaments a year, or we would play 1 qualifier tournament, and then we'd play the national tournament.
Oh,
and
yeah, we did too.
Okay.
It hasn't changed that much.
It hasn't changed that much. But
I will for the schools who have a little less on the resources side. If there are coaches
that are nowhere
and stuff,
near any other school that they can even play.
That too. But I think like Zach Melton, I believe, is coaching a team. I forget what school.
It would be cool to get some of the older guys on tour to like go show some of their experience to the younger generation through collegiate disc golf. I think it's a good way to go to sport.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know much else. We can keep yapping about whatever if you want, but
I think that's about all I got. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We always, are trying to talk about, relevant, topics. So please comment down below anything you'd like us to talk about. We will be answering some of the top questions. Not maybe like the first question, but like the most thought out, like interesting question. So give us something good, something real hard to answer. So
love it.
Cool. Make sure to check out the course practice rounds. Those are already posted, as well as the doubles battles. And make sure to like and subscribe. Course maintenance. And
it's growing.
Yep.
We'll have to start trimming it if it gets to be too big. It needs to be start clipping it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Thanks, guys. We will catch you guys next week.
All right. See ya.